This summer, Miles is locked in with big goals for his businesses, health, and family. It's not just another season, it's a mission. Today, we're walking through the vision, the plan, and what it's going to take to execute. Do you know why? Because real rhythm isn't found in the chaos. It's built through clarity, consistency, and commitment.
Into the rhythm of my intuition. Anything I want, I speak into existence. That's how I'm living.
All right, here we go. Episode 30. 30. Let's rip it.
You've talked about this summer like it's a mission. What does that mean to you right now?
I don't know. I always like framing different sections in the year, right? This is part of my rhythm, right? Like, I always like to kind of scope them out and maybe give them a label and how I think about them. What is the goal, right? This goes into my process of set our goal or vision, create a plan, go on the mission to execute the work, measure progress, celebrate milestones, rest, reflect, and repeat. And that's kind of like has a start, middle, and end to it. So that's how I like to frame it. And I have some ambitious goals across all the things that I care about, mind, body, businesses, relationships. So I'm just setting the standards, setting the branding of it as this is a mission that we're embarking on.
So let's zoom out. When you look at the next 90 days, what's the bigger vision that you're chasing?
Yeah, so it's actually even longer than 90 days because I think I put it for June 2nd to September 22nd, 16 weeks. I also love 16 weeks. I'm born on June 16th. I like the number 16. So it's like 16 weeks is how I'm thinking of it, not even through days or through months, but from a weekly basis. And then I am reverse engineering, like what are the goals that I want from that, which I'm sure that we'll dive into a little bit more, but kind of from the core, really this starts from a business perspective of like, what am I trying to do on the business side of it? On Neighbor Media, I'm really obsessed with the Good Neighbor campaigns that we're doing. I want to be at 100 active monthly campaigns at the end of the 16 weeks, right? Like, so how do I do that? And then I'm reverse engineering that backwards. On the big ball side of it, I want to get to a point where we're doing 20,000 a month in revenue. And I know what it takes to kind of build that out. And that's kind of like the grand vision of those two things. And then it's like, okay, if you think about that on 16 weeks, like how do you get to that point? You got to do this, 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 and this. This is part of the plan that gets created for it. And then you're really just setting out on the mission to execute the work day after day, week after week. And I'm going to be measuring the progress along the way. Like, am I hitting the marks of doing what I need to do? Celebrate milestones along the way. And then at the end of that 16 weeks, I'll rest, reflect, and repeat with a new mission or vision. That's on the business side of it. On the health side of it too, like, I have a good streak here, summertime, right? I just want to get strong as hell by going to the gym and lifting heavy weights. And I want to get fast by running kilometers. So I want to do that. I want to build a resilient stress response and kind of mind. So that's going to be this meditation and breathwork type mixture. And then on the relationship side of it, be the best dad with Grayson and a husband to Elisa as we raise our little family and build our house. That's the vision of it all.
You mentioned 100 Good Neighbor campaigns a month. That's a big number. What's the game plan?
Yeah, that's a big number, but I'm confident in it because it's such a good product offering now that's applicable to so many different businesses, right? So we have a good target market to go after, right? We have a good total addressable market, good TAM to go after, which is hyper-local businesses. And we've iterated on what this product offering is of like, okay, we will recommend your business 1,000 times a day to people that are most likely to be your customer, who live within 15 minutes of your location, right? And we handle absolutely everything. We do all the creative, we do all the media buying, we do all the reporting. All you got to do is sit back and watch the customers come in. And we have a proven framework of, building storytelling ads, doing social proof, like turning Google reviews into advertisements, and then crafting good offers, like really clarifying of like what their core offer is and then delivering it to the people that have interacted with the campaign. And it's super tight. And now, as you know, because you're part of this mission now too, where it's like I'm building in the team to be able to handle the volume of it, where kind of before this, I was doing every step of it, but now we're at this section where it's like, okay, I have the media buyer that can handle the media buying. You're going to help me kind of with the creative part of it, building out the ads and communication with the partners. And then all I need to do is sit up here is like generate leads, have these conversations, and just let people know about what it is that we do, right? This is how it's done. Like, you have the offer, you got to communicate it to the people that are most likely to buy it. And we have repeat customers too. So 100 is a big number, but we're at like 20 right now, 20 active ones, right? So 20, I add another 20 this month, right? We're going to have carryover. We're going to be at 40. I add another 30. We're going to be at 70. I add another 30. We're going to be at 100. There will be a little bit of churn, but by that time, we'll have the system put in place where we'll keep feeding it in. And just based off of doing it for like specifically these Good Neighbor campaigns for this whole year and a version of it last year too, we know once people start doing it that it's effective and they continue to do it. So we will have repeat customers. That's how we will achieve that 100. And that's a goal for 16 at the end of the 16 weeks. And it's like, how do you do that, right? There's all these things of it could be like, oh, you got to do all these things. I've really, really narrowed it down to a very simple thing. I need to speak to 25 businesses a week. If I do that, we will do it. If I don't do that, I'm just talking shit and promising stuff that doesn't happen.
Let's move on to the big ball. You said you're pushing for 20K a month. What levers are you focused on pulling to get there?
Yeah, I just need to be better at creating better ads, honestly. Like, we're at a good point right now where it's like we're getting a good return on ad spend, a mix, safe to say that it's like a 2x where I spend $1, get $2 back, which it is profitable, but there is more to do there. Like, we can be at a 3, we could be at a 4. So it's a couple things that to get to the 20,000, right? It's like, I need to create better ads, which I'm in the process of doing right now, get those launched and increase ad spend on that front of it too. I would like to add in a couple different little products that are aligned with the big ball, right? So around putting and maybe some fun extra stuff too, just to increase cart size at checkout too, and have to do that. So instead of AOV, average order value, being $50, we could get it to $75 or get it to $100. That will help with that too. And then as well, there's this whole wholesale part of it where now we have built up kind of this track record of the product, and we have sold over 10,000 balls, where I need to get in front of more head golf professionals, that people that give lessons or run junior camps, and have them be aware of the product. And there's a whole strategy of how to do that too. So I think those two things, executing on that, will get us to there. Yeah, get to there. And I'd be happy at that, like 20K a month for probably a little bit. I say that we'll get there, and I'll be like, oh, what do we do to get to 40? But yeah, and there's just no reason to not be at that level.
And outside of work, what's the personal rhythm that you're trying to build this summer?
Yeah, I just want to get in a really good cadence of, obviously, family, being a good dad, being a good husband. That is top of my list of being that, and always being like present for them. But part of being a good husband and good dad is to execute on this business side of it, right? So and that's kind of naturally where I go, is like lead with building the businesses, and everything kind of fits in around that core of it. So I need like 8-10 hours of solid like work. And then I just want to be in a good rhythm of doing meditation and doing breath work and going to the gym and getting the runs in, because like then I'm feeling good and I can carry that energy into the other aspects of my life. So, very simple. It's like, do some meditation or breath work every single day. There's no reason that I can't find 20 minutes to do that. Get to the gym 3 to 4 times a week, go there in the morning, on the way to the office, do that. Get some runs in when you can. Eat well. Don't drink alcohol during the week. Maybe just Friday night. Even that too, like, because when I said like at the end of the pool one where I was like, oh, I'm just like every day coming home and having a couple beers. Then when I stopped doing pools and did that full reset, I've had no alcohol for, I don't know, 6 days or so like that. And like, I feel amazing, right? So it's like, I understand that we'll probably do a whole episode on alcohol. It's part of like escapism, but yeah, so cut that out as much as possible, because I just want to be feeling good and like be able to execute at the highest level possible. And then, the building of the house is going to be a huge thing, because we're actually going to be in the mix of it. So yeah.
And you mentioned your rhythm often follows this pattern. Set the vision, create the plan, go on the mission, measure, celebrate, reflect, and repeat. Can you walk us through how that actually works?
Yeah. Like, this is part of a framework and like a life philosophy that I've just developed over the last, 4 years or so. Because no matter what's going on in life, highs, lows, wins, losses, whatever it is, I can always come back to this, where I just break what I care about into the 4 buckets: my mind, my body, my business, and my relationships. Those are the 4 buckets that I'm constantly thinking about and trying to grow and build mastery in, right? Like, that is how I live my life. And then, so how do I grow and build mastery in those 4 areas? I put it through this framework of set the goal or vision, build the plan, execute the work, measure progress, celebrate milestones, rest, reflect, and repeat. And I apply that to all those 4 areas. And then I just do that consistently over time, right? Like, we're now in June, so I've already done like 2 or 3 like cycles of that, right? We had the beginning of the year, right? First quarter, and then we had the pool season, like that sprint too, right? So, and then we're kind of going into the summer one, where I have the goal or vision for each one of those, depending on what's going on and what am I trying to accomplish. I create the plan to achieve the vision that I set out for those, and then I go and I execute the work. And then I'm measuring progress along the way, which is really just, am I doing what I said I was going to do in the plan? And then, celebrate milestones. We hit this revenue level, we've embarked on this thing. Grayson had this milestone, whatever it is, like, but have an end to it, and then start again, right? And then just begin again. So that's how it works. And I've been doing that consistently since 2022. Yeah, 2022, when kind of the forever plan was put into place.
For someone listening who feels a bit scattered, what's one shift they could make to step into their own version of this?
Yeah, I would just encourage to follow that framework of like, what is your goal? And pick one piece, pick one goal, right? Like, it doesn't have to be in all 4 areas or whatever it is, whether this is in your personal life, your financial life, or your health, or whatever it is. Pick a goal, set a vision for your future self, right? Like, what is it that I want to, what do I want my future reality to be? What is the person I want to be? What does that person look like, right? Like, what is that goal? And then you're reverse engineering it to make the plan of like, okay, well, if I do this, and this, I have a high likelihood of achieving that goal or vision I set out for myself, right? So you have the big plan, but you break it down into achievable steps, bite-sized steps. Then you execute the work. You go on the mission and execute the work. This is where the hard part, right? This is the valley of death, right? This is the difficult part, but this is what is needed to do anything in life, anything meaningful. Go out and execute the work, and you'll know if you're doing what you said or you're doing if you track progress, right? Like if you measure the progress of it. So that's another key piece of it, or else you will end up like lying to yourself, and the next thing you know, 4 weeks go by and you'll be like, oh, I did it, and be like, yeah, like have you actually moved the needle at all towards what you said that you were going to do? No. So you want to do that, and then you want to celebrate some milestones along the way. That could be at the end of it, that could be halfway, that could be week by week, whatever it is. You know, this is your life, you do it, and then have an endpoint, and then repeat it, do it again. Set a new vision, whether it's just a bigger one in the same vertical that you were doing or another aspect of your life, whatever that is. So it sounds like a lot, but it's very simple, right? It's just very, very, very simple. Set a goal for yourself, make a plan, execute the work, measure progress, celebrate milestones, rest, reflect, and repeat. So, and don't make it too big. Don't make it not achievable. Don't make it too long. Don't be like, oh, I want to do this for the end of the year. No, make it 6 weeks. Go on a 6-week little sprint here of whatever aspect of it. What is that? Like 45 days-ish, right? Like, and then it's just like every single day that's top of mind. And what are you doing towards that thing?
And you've had big seasons before this one, but what feels different about this upcoming one?
Momentum.
Right.
Momentum is a big difference. Like momentum and experience, where it's like I've been doing everything that I just said over and over and over and over again. So like I know I know what I'm doing now. Kinda.
So when the summer's done, how will you know you succeeded?
As long as I just put in if I do what I said that I set out to do, I know that it's a success in my books, right? But very clearly I could be like, are we doing 100 campaigns, right? Like that's a very simple metric of it, but it's like, did I just blow smoke of because it feels good to create the plan. It feels amazing to create the vision, right? Like your brain is like you already did it, right? And it feels good to make the plan of two. But the hard part is executing the work day after day, week after week. And that will be the true measure of success of like, when I look back, it'd be like, did you actually do what you said you were going to do? That's it. And that's how you build confidence is you do what you said you were going to do. To yourself.
Miles has his summer mission mapped out. What about you? What's one thing you're committed to building, improving, or executing this summer? Drop it in the comments, and let's all hold the line.